Many years ago, there was this advertisement of a particular soda drink, and the question was, is your choice clear? So you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Sprite. Clear, sparkling, limpid, no color whatsoever. So the question is your choice clear? Unfortunately, right now, choices are made to appear like we have an infinite number of choices. But truth to tell, the advertising industry has already made choices for you. So depending on what you hear every single day, then you decide to buy this over this product, this VCO that is very well packaged, and there's a whole lot of advertisement money poured into it, but they are all the same. So those that are made unknown, no power of commercial advertisements, they don't sell, and their price remains to be less than 100 pesos. But that one brand is several hundred, of 600 upwards of 600. Is your choice clear? The advertisement industry really makes choices. And in this world of fast fashion, this explains why there is a lot of ukay-ukay in poor countries like us. Because the world of fast fashion in the West, in the first world, in their planned obsolescence, they are designed to be out of wala na sa uso pagkaraan ng 3 buwan. Planned obsolescence. So the world of fast fashion really has decided for you what is the ideal of beauty, the ideal of being smart, smartly dressed. And therefore the ukay-ukay patrons can only make do with hand-me-downs that cost a few hundred pesos and even less. Is your choice clear? The choices that Adam and Eve made were very clear. They chose disobedience, but the results are not that clear. The consequences are not sparkling clear. And they knew firsthand what evil was. They saw evil face to face because they made a clear choice for disobedience. In the second reading, we're told by St. Paul how differing the choices that Adam made. He chose to revolt, and therefore that choice that Adam made became for humanity a lesson on disobedience. But then the new Adam, who was Christ, came to choose obedience. And the results are clear. In the Gospel, we are told about the 3 choices given the Lord, 3 temptations. Now the question is this: were the choices that the Lord made clear? You bet. You can bet your bottom dollar He did the right choices. Those choices were clear, they were sparkling, they were limpid, they were unalloyed, unmixed with any other personal considerations. But He was tempted all the same, human like us, but God also in nature, human and divine. As human He was tempted, but as the Son of God, His choices were clear. And what were His choices? You know, we are all bothered by the same array of choices, and they all revolve around very human issues: food, alcohol, sex, pleasure, ordinary choices for ordinary people. And of course, if we had a choice, we would choose Starbucks over 3-in-1. We would choose coffee bean and tea leaf. By the way, that's the biggest purchase made in the last 3 years by Jollibee. CBTL belongs to Jollibee all over the world. It's not making good in America. And so the American owners of Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf found a gold mine in a Filipino-Chinese company, and that is Jollibee. Now, the temptations of the Lord are three choices essentially. If you are the Son of God, oh my God, you are very well. The devil knows very well he was the Son of God. But the devil is a deceiver. The devil diverts. The devil sows doubt. So the question is, if you are the Son of God, baka naman sakaling hindi ka anak ng Diyos. Subtle temptation to doubt His nature and who He was. If you are the Son of God, then claim your power. Turn these stones into bread. That is the ultimate sign of power. If you can do miracles, you can do wonders. You can turn stones into bread. But then the Lord said, oh, it's not by bread alone that man lives. Supalpal si demonyo. It was a temptation to power. And it is a temptation that is tempting us every day. We want to be promoted all the time. We want to be, sa mga nagdadrive, nalampasan ng konti, hahabulin, nakalamang ka ng ilang metro, masaya ka na kasi nalamangan mo yung kalaban mo. Ang mga nagdadrive ngayon sa Pilipinas, lahat mainit ang ulo. Kasi lalo na yung mga tricycle, mga motorsiklo, they pretend that they don't see you. Ganyan ang mga drivers sa Pilipinas eh. Pretend you don't see the other one, and so you go straight. Even if you don't have the right of way. Temptation to power. You overpower people in many little ways. And then you say, as I was telling last Sunday, mirisi. Cebuanos love to say this word, mirisi. Buti nga sa Tagalog, buti nga. You deserve it. Nakaganti ka. This is a temptation to overpower others and claim your own pretended sense or sense of powerfulness and your perch in the hierarchical nature of our human Filipino society. Lamangan. Kaya kahit iisa lamang ang paradahan mo, apat ang kotse mo, edi iparada mo sa harapan ng gate ng kapitbahay mo. Pagka nagkaalaman, galit pa yung nagbara ng kotse sapagkat apat ang kotse niya, iisa lang ang paradahan. A problem all over the country. So, what are the three choices of the Lord? The other one had to do with glory. Okay, throw yourself down. Throw yourself down. And immediately people will know, magkakaalaman, maghahalo ang balat sa tinalupan, magkakaalaman kung sino ang magaling, kung sino ang bida, kung sino ang Diyos. If you throw yourself down from the parapet of the temple, then the angels will come doing a lullaby for you. This is a temptation to glory. A temptation to claim the glory that is not yours. And so throw yourself down. And then the third choice, I'll give you all the kingdoms that you see all over the world, but you need to kneel down in front of me. Manggayo papa ka sa harapan ko. Lumuhod ka at sambahin mo ko. Domination. We all want to dominate others. How do we dominate others? Destroy their good name, maging Marisol, maging Marites, maging Tolits, siraan mo ang kalaban mo, and spread fake news. This is the problem. I was watching last night the propaganda warfare. You know, the wars now being waged are not wars being waged on weapons alone. There is a war going on in social media, a war going on national TV in Russia and in China. There is a war going on in TV networks and a war going on in the battlefield But the war going on in social media is full of fake news, full of false narratives. Kawawa naman ang Russia, inaapi ng buong mundo. And all the rest of the world are satanic and Nazi. And look who is the Nazi who started the war. But it is easy to change the narrative. You make a false narrative and make people, the bully always has a false narrative. Tingnan niyo mga bully sa mga eskwela, ang galing nila magpaawa. Matapos nila bugbugin yung maliit at pandak at pilay. Pagdating sa principal's office, sila pa ang api, sila pa ang kawawa, napaltan ng kwento. This is false narrative. This is lying. And this is all in the name of domination. Nakaisa ko sa inyo. That's a very Tagalog concept. Naisahan ko sila. I pulled a fast one on everybody. These are the choices that we are faced with every day. But the items of our choices are clearly definable. Food. Ayoko ng pares. Madumi. Then, second choice, avoid self-responsibility. That's not me. That's not my problem. It's the problem of the West who provoked us into war. That is what Putin says. Kasalanan pa ng West dahil nagkagera, sino bang umatake? False narratives. Then, wealth and power. We want more. In the planned obsolescence of gadgets, after 6 months, your gadget is out of date. You need to change it. In the planned obsolescence of fast fashion, within 3 months, yung suot mo ay baduy na. You've got to give it to the ukay-ukay. In the planned obsolescence of everything, then you need to have the best, the latest, and the most expensive. Items are clearly definable. In a world of infinite choices, but little do you know that it was ABS-CBN and GMA7 that told you to buy this brand of cooking oil because it has convinced you that it is the best, kahit gawa din lang naman sa coconut oil. Pero maganda yung packaging at maraming budgets sa advertisement. Your choices are clear, they are clearly definable, but at bottom, the question of Sprite remains, is your choice the best? Is your choice sparkling clear? I'll tell you a little story. It's a musical in 1971. Maybe ako sa musical, so hindi man ako kumakanta. Pero yung Pipin, think about your life, Pipin. Think about the sun. Think about his golden glance. Pipin was a hunchback. Pipin was short, pandak. Pipin was an illegitimate child of Charlemagne, the oldest son of Charlemagne. But Pipin was rejected, unwanted. He was ugly. And so he was not in the line of succession. And so he wanted to make a revolution against his father, Charles Carlomagno, Charles the Great, Charlemagne in English. Charles the Great. But Charles the Great and his cohort found out, and therefore he was banished. And there was a time in his life when he was tempted to kill himself. Choice. Think about the sun, Pipin. Think about your golden glance, and then he was shown fire, and all you need to do is get through the fire, and within a few short moments, you have reached the sun. And he wanted to kill himself, yes, but then he thought better. And this is now where we come in. He said in that finale, the finale of the musical, think about your life, Pipin. Think about the dreams you planned. When the power and the glory are all at your command. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. Pipin, you're called to glory. You're called to wealth. You're called to power and domination. But then Pipin, in his wiser, quieter moments, said, I'm not a river or a giant bird. that soars to the sea. And if I'm never tied to anything, I'll never be free. I wanted magic shows and miracles, mirages to touch. They showed me crimson gold and lavender, a shining parade. But there's no color I can have on earth. It simply isn't there. It wasn't there. And never was it there. It's somewhere else. And that somewhere else, somewhere over the rainbow, I was quoting sometime, there's a place for us somewhere, a time for us somewhere. What is this? This is the fruit of your choice, your sparkling choices. The fruit of disobedience is more disobedience. The fruit of the new Adam's obedience, Christ, is union with God. We have been reconciled to God on account of the choices that Christ made. The temptations of Christ, there were three choices. He chose what was clear, what was sparkling, what was liberating, what was saving. And therefore, I am not a river or a giant bird. I know who I am. And if I'm never tied to anything, if I'm not tied to the will of God, then I'll never be free. That is the reality about freedom. Freedom is not absolute, it's relative, it's connected, it's related. If you're never tied to God, you'll never be free. So my question is the same. Are your choices clear?